The Daniel Blair Show, sponsored by Motosport.com, Mika Metals, Race Tech, ASV Inventions, and Guts Racing.
So many storylines heading into San Diego, but there can only be one lead story, and it's Chase Sexton. If you are Team Sexton, this couldn't have gone any better. Your rival Jett Lawrence laid an egg, your rival Cooper Webb was just okay, and you ran over your rival Eli Tomac and went on to win the opener. A dream night. We, however, were robbed. Damn it, Eli! That was going to be 2022 Pro Motocross all over again. And flip a coin on who would have won. Eli was unreal, but Chase was just chillin'. Eli showed us that the explosiveness is back, but Chase was just chillin'. I believe they were equally matched. A war between titans was on deck, but a simple washout and a massive no from the fans, and it was over. Chase cruised it in, Eli rode like a beast to fifth, Jett was out there somewhere, and it was a great opening act for what is about to be a wild season of Supercross. So it's Chase Sexton who takes the red plate into San Diego, but it's Eli who has us feeling inspired. The fans and the crowd are obsessed. You could hear them through the screen on Race Day Live. They love him, and they should. The perfect farewell tour, loving his bike, smiling, waving, giving open and personal interviews with JT and Gypsy. The guy has opened up, everyone loves him, and the fifth was fine. That all sounds cute. But the truth is, dude is lethal. And he knows it, and so does Jett, so does Coop, and so does Chase. This ain't some ride off into the sunset tour. He may be smiling, but it's because he knows what's left in the tank, and it's enough to win his third title. He doesn't come out and shred P1 in the first qualifying session of the season unless he has a point to prove, which he does. He wants that title back. Saturday proved he's back. He's lethal again, and it is on. But Chase is pretty lethal too. Even with the stall, the field was managed by the 2023 Supercross champ, and I believe he had more than he showed. He did what was needed, got the win, but it's the way he does things that bring flashes of all-timer Ryan Dungey to my mind. He's business, he's machine-like, he's less interested in the noise, the attention, and stacking cash in the offseason. He only wants to win championships and seems to have gone full process this year, with less emotion and an uptick in maturity. Which is great timing, by the way, because that formula will win him this title this year. As weird as things may seem on the internet, Chase is in sync with his team, a team that fought off all the noise from the outside, then smashed both classes at A1. This is what Jett is up against. This is what Eli and Cooper are up against. A team that's won half the 450 Supercross titles the last 10 years, wants it back after a 3-year hiatus, and happens to have the guy who mimics the guy that brought them 3 straight. Now, I know A1 is just A1, but what was that from Jett? It's the worst he's looked on a Supercross track. He had no feel with the ground, which has always been his secret weapon, and it was clear from qualifying that something was off. He seemed disconnected. 2019 Jason Anderson a little? Oh, come on, DB, he's fine. We've seen the best have a bad A1 or crash out of the opener and still win the title. Relax. Nah, there's more to this. I have eyeballs. You have eyeballs, and Jett looked neutralized for the first time ever. While word on the street is there were things off with the bike coming in, he seemed confident, like all was well, with big aspirations on his mind, but something was off. A miscalculation in strategy and maybe a misread, but Chase is better. Eli is back, and if Jett ain't right, he ain't walking these boys. A capped Jett against a full ceiling Chase and Eli, and I'm not so sure who wins this thing. If it's equal on the bike, it comes down to mentality, and they dislike him way more than he dislikes them. This feels different. A rough month coming? Maybe. Or he smashes this Saturday and we all get a big fat reminder. But if he loses to Chase and Eli straight up in San Diego, alarm bells, yes, at round 2. He's never dealt with this. He's never had to question his advantages. But if he and the bike are not connected, he's not the same. And if you think, oh, he'll just beat him, he's Jett. Well, it's not like that anymore. Those 3 are all dogs, and you can't play with your food when your food plays back. And if Jett's down double digits and afraid of his bike, uh-oh. I think he has to turn this around immediately. And he can, but he doesn't have as much time as you think. A weird couple weeks for a dude who has never had a weird couple weeks will be interesting to watch, and ultimately will be his biggest test. I remember this Joe, quiet kid coming up, Never said a word, no hype, no expectations, just perfect technique and stubbornly consistent. Somehow finished third in points his rookie season with only 2 top 5 finishes all year. How did that happen? I remember this Jo winning his first ever main event in 2021, the night I got my first shot in the booth.
1 corner to go. Jo Shimoda looks over his shoulder and he's gonna get it done in Salt Lake City. The number 30, Jo Shimoda, gets the win.
Dang, forgot we shared that. Then he got fast, really fast. Got a little sendy too. While it was a noticeable uptick in speed, an uptick in crashing came with it. And an extremely balanced racer became extremely unbalanced at the wrong time, right when expectations hit. The PC years were a mess. The move to Honda made him an individual, which added to the expectations, and last year was blah. So he moved to Florida, built his own bike from scratch, shed all expectations from the media and the fans, and shows up at A1 with no hype, now the only factory dude on the gate without a can on his head, and takes the red plate. This sport is cool. Welcome back to the top, Jo Shimoda. But the big question moving forward, was that just A1, or is this version of Jo his best version? And is it enough to win this thing? Now comes a little pressure again. Now comes a little hype, a little expectation, and a big test Saturday for Jo Show. Juju Beaumer had a breakout at A1, and yes, I have and will forever have an attachment. I'll do my best not to be a homer moving forward, but what am I supposed to say? He was fastest in qualifying, won his heat, and grabbed his first podium. The dude is sick. What am I supposed to say? Well, he's a jet ski racer, which explains the excess in bike skills. You know that story already. But did you know he used to race horses? Back in 2023, while he was winning futures, he was barrel racing on Wednesday nights in Riverside, making cash in between motos and gym on a horse, like straight up French Yellowstone. Dude is sick. What am I supposed to say? Jordan Smith is throwing down an incredible late career run. Guy switches to Triumph, signs long-term, gets them their first podium, and sure has turned his career into an awesome story. Wife and kids in attendance, smiling, making a great living, and to think this guy almost lost this thing a few times. Between the emotional title defeats and the crashes, injuries, and bouncing around teams and brands, the guy has made an amazing return to the podium, and his story is one of the more inspirational on the gate. Team Jordan. Ryder D was great, and he's just warming up. I do find it ironic that Hayden ran into the back of Ryder. We'll take him out when it's time. Sorry. And for Deegs, well, he already got a talking to this week on overreaction, so no need to do it again. In fact, I was gonna go this whole episode without even mentioning him, but the algorithm is pretty legit on YouTube, so I had to bring him up for the clicks. Hayden Deegan, Hayden Deegan, Hayden Deegan. But for real, he wins this week. Dude ate some humble pie last Saturday. Don't let the smile in the post-main interview fool you. He is livid, and they are screwed. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much for watching the show. If you liked it, press the like button. And if you want to subscribe, then press the subscribe button. Share it with your friends, with your family, and grandma. Make sure you send it to grandma. Grandmas love everything Main Event Moto does. All you Motoheads out there, we are still rocking and rolling at Main Event Moto. You can go to patreon.com/maineventmoto. We do 2 shows a week now. Patreon.com/maineventmoto, and we will catch you on the next show.